Hi, welcome to my channel, The Reclusive Crafter. If you're new here, I'm pleased that you found me. My channel is all about crafting, junk journals mainly, but I will be delving into other projects as well along the way. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and share with any fellow crafters. Don't forget to leave a comment because I'd love to hear your thoughts, ideas and any suggestions you've got about future videos. If you can watch to the end, there's a little inspiration to be found and it really helps more people find the channel. So without further ado, let's get into what we're currently working on. For those of you that have been to the channel before, you'll know that I'm working on the Recipe Keeper journal from digital prints from the Scrimping Mummy collection. I will leave a link below for Scrimping Mummy. Her digitals are absolutely lovely, and she does one every month. This one was a couple of months ago. It's just taken me a little bit of time to get through this project. Since my last video last week, I have been quite busy. I say quite busy, I've done a little bit actually. So I've been putting together some ephemera bits and pieces, and there's also one final pocket that I would like to make. So I've made, I don't know if you can see, I've made some journal cards. This was one of the little things that I found in what was my mother-in-law's recipe book. Although it's nothing to do about recipes, but it is to do about housekeeping. And I've backed all of these with some avocado dyed paper. So these are lovely. I haven't done, all I've literally done with these is back them. This was out of a magazine, and I just happened to just like the Cascade of Biscuit, so I thought we'd make a tag out of that one. This one is from the digital itself. Again, going to make a tag out of that one. These I found from a magazine. I just thought they were really cute and absolutely ideal for the Recipe Keeper. I think I'm probably going to do journal cards with these, purely because of the way that they're horizontal rather than portrait size. I'm not going to lie, these ones, I've actually got 4 of these and they are lovely. These I found online, and I'm not going to lie, I can't remember where I downloaded them from, so apologies to whoever's these are, but I thought they were absolutely beautiful. They're just front-facing postcards, but I have backed them with some avocado dyed paper just for journaling purposes, so I'm going to be finding homes for these today. Just get this bit off of there. Yeah, so there's 4 of those. So there's that one, there's that one, and as you can see they're all kind of recipe orientated, but they could be used in other type of journals as well. Quite feminine and very pretty. This was another one out of a magazine that I found. Again, just backed it on coffee dyed paper on that one. Again, I think I'm probably going to make a journal out of this one if I end up using it. I might not necessarily use all of these. That is from the digital kit itself, and again, that's coffee dyed, I believe. But again, making a tag out of that one. I'm going to make a tag out of that. These journal cards are actually from the kit itself. So we're going to find little places for them, and again I have backed them on coffee dyed paper. And then we're going to do a tag out of that one, and then these little ones, really cute, again backed with coffee dyed paper. I'm just going to round the corners off and we're going to pop those in, and these are from the digital as well. So let's get cracking and see what we're going to be doing. So just having a look. Now that one I want to replace because I took that out of a little portfolio that I made, and I want to put something else in there. So amongst all of these little bits and pieces I've got, I'm just going to have a look and see actually what goes best, and obviously what fits as well. I haven't really been through and looked at what is going to fit. Look, that one's too wide. Oh, I have more tag bits than that. It looks like I've got mainly journals. So that one's too wide. That one fits. That one fits. Actually, I quite like that one. That one's a little bit too wide, but I could I could narrow that one down because I'm actually going to need 3 of these. So I think I'm going to go with this one on there. I'm just going to make a little journal card, not a journal card, sorry, a tag out of this and just slip it into that one. So very simply, I'm going to reduce the size or the height of it, and I think I will take it down to about there. I think would be fine. And actually this one, I think I'll put a few embellishments because it's quite plain, and I think I'll decorate that with a few little embellishments as well, which I think would be nice. So I'm just going to reduce this down a little bit to about there, I think. That's always handy. Where's my craft knife gone? I've lost my craft knife, folks. Here it is. Okay. So that's that one, and I think I will use this little corner press for it. I do like the shape this gives the tags. I think that's really pretty. And I'm just going to find some little embellishments to put on this. Just digging in my box. We'll bring the little embellishments out and have a look and see what we're going to put on there. So looking at the design on there, I'm just going to find something that will go with that. Although to be honest with you, it's all food orientated, so everything should really go with it quite nicely. We've got a little bit of spoon coming up there, and a little, what is that? It's an oven glove. That's what that is. Let's have a look. She's quite nice. I quite like her. She's in throughout the journal on a number of things. I quite like that as well. And that actually goes with those little spoons there. What else have we got here? A pair of scales. Quite like those. These two are from the kit. I have got some bits and pieces here that aren't from the kit, and they're just bits and pieces that I found along the way. Quite like the coffee grinder. A little bit of bread and butter there. So I wonder how all of you are doing in the UK. We've been threatened with massive thunderstorms. I don't know if there've actually been any yet. I read on the news this morning that Dover's flooded, which isn't great. But we've had it really easy up here in the Midlands. It's just been very overcast all morning, but the sun's just come through, which is very nice. So on here, I think we'll go with these little bits and pieces that I've pulled out. Just working out now how I want to position them all, or even if I want them all. I'm not sure that I do, to be fair. I'm not sure I want the coffee. Quite like those. I think we'll just go with those two. I'm just going to pop a little bit of ink around the edges, only because I like it. I have mentioned before, some crafters use inks on absolutely everything they do, and some are a little less well, use it a little less. It depends on what I'm doing as to whether or not I use it. I have gone with ink throughout nearly all of this, so just for continuity I'm going to carry on inking. The wind's getting up out there, things are crashing around. I have got the windows open because it is really warm, so apologies if there are any noises and things coming through. Okay, I mentioned last time that on this, this should be, if not the last, the penultimate video in this collection, this particular collection, and I'm hoping that's still going to be the case actually. So I'm going to show you the first signature, the embellishing of the first signature, and then I will get on and finish the rest off camera. And once I finish the rest off camera, the last video then will just be a walkthrough of the whole thing, by which time hopefully I'll have pulled my finger out and got it done. It has been dragging on a little bit, although I've really enjoyed doing it. I just haven't found a lot of time recently, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm going to pop that on there. I quite like that coming off the edge. I'll just trim that off. Just wipe that off there. And we'll trim that off. And then the little spoons and things I'm just going to pop on the top, and I think for embellishment's sake I think that'll be just fine. And hopefully I remember to keep you all in shot today. I am aware that I do keep coming off camera occasionally. There we go. Okay, so that's that little tag done. Yeah, like that. I'm just going to slot that in there. That's that one done. And then that one's all completed. What I have done here, you may recall if you've visited the channel before, that my mother-in-law tended to write out her recipes, and what I've done again is I've just backed them on avocado dyed paper, and I'm going to use them as journal cards into these bag pockets that I made. And I think I want to put a little tag on this. Now, I don't have well punch tags or anything like that. However, what I do like to do is I like to use this punch, and this particular bit here, if you can see that, that one there, does that nice fluted edge, and I find you can make some really nice tabs using that, and I'll show you how to do that. It's actually really simple. I'm just looking for a little piece of the green gingham, which I have here. So you find a piece of card that would do the job, and then I usually allow 2 inches, but I might try it with 2.5 and see how that goes. 2.5 is roughly there. I'm not looking at doing anything too much. And then if you fold it over like so, I just wonder if that'll be a bit too big actually. Maybe a little bit wide. I'm just going to try and how far do I want that? Maybe, I think maybe 1.5 inches would probably be okay. So if it's not right, we can always cut another one. Let's have a look at that and see how that looks. Yeah, I think let's just pop it in the punch and see where it comes. So I'm going to clip that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be big enough somehow. And clip that. And that did not work at all, so that's not wide enough. There you go, you live and learn. So we'll make another one, so hopefully which is that one. I've got some here that I made earlier or I've made previously, so what width are they? So they are 2 inches. Okay, so let's try one that's 2 inches wide. Maybe that will give me enough to make the tag from that. That's not quite 2 inches. So let me find a wider bit of so I'm gonna go, let's go 2 inches, which is that line there. And we'll see how this works. And again, I don't want to really be too big, so I'm going to go down to there and see what that looks like, see if that one will work. It's been a while since I made any of these tabs, so I'm not going to lie, I can't really remember the dimensions, but we'll see how it goes on this one. This one looks like it might work better. So you fold it in half, you put it in your punch. Yeah, this one looks like it's going to work better. Clip it out, other side, pop it in. Hey, that one worked perfectly. So with that particular punch, can't be any less than, I think it was 2 inches wide I said, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 inches wide, and I did it 2 inches deep. So basically a 2-inch square works absolutely perfectly. And that gives you a really nice little tab like that. We're going to pop that onto the journal. I've made it green because obviously it's going into a green page. And I'm going to pop that on there just to make that easier to get out. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to round the corners on these, because I've literally just noticed that that's bending up there, and it hasn't been in there long. So to prevent that happening, I'm just going to round off the corners, and I think we'll go with a 7mm round just to stop that from happening. And that didn't get it at all. What's going on? 7mm, pop it in. There we go, it's there now. And 7mm. There we go. Lovely. Sounded like the Chives advert. Does anybody remember that? I'm just going to pop that on there. Nice. Okay. A little bit of glue. Hope you're all having a nice weekend, whatever you're planning, or if you're just using the weekend to chill. That sounds awesome. Okay, I'm going to pop that on there, pop that down there, marry up the flutes there. Oh, that's lovely. I like that very much. And that's that one done. So we're going to pop that back in its little pocket. There we go. And now that's got a little tab to be able to get it in and out easier. That's nice. And then, so we need a journal card for here. So let's have a look. Oh, I've just thought what I've also got. I want to use. Bear with me a second because I'm just going to grab them. I have also got a bunch of postcards, which I think I showed you some previously. I might not have done, my memory's terrible, but these are lovely. I'm going to add, sorry if that's reflecting on the light, but I'm going to add some of these throughout the journal as well, because I just thought they were absolutely lovely, and they're all food orientated. Grapes and all sorts of things that are all food orientated, but just looking at that there, I just remembered that I think would look absolutely lovely in that particular pocket. So I'm going to pop that there with a little green umbrella to go with the green black background. Baking powder and dry measurements, which is just fits in very, very nicely. Very pleased with that one. I'm going to leave those there so I don't keep forgetting them, so I'm just going to pop those up there out of the way. And then there was something else in here which I thought would look nice. Where's it gone? I might have put it under my mat actually, and I did. I'm just going to have a look at this and see what this one looks like. So again, this was out of the magazine. I just thought it'd be nice just for a little journaling card. I'm just going to have a look and see the size of that, and that looks, yeah, I really like that actually. So again, I'm just going to clip the edges on this, or the corners, and we're going to pop that one in as well. Just for a little bit extra. And that's that pocket all filled up. So there we go, that's lovely. So that looks really nice, happy with that. Moving on, what else have we got here? Let's have a look. Got another pocket here, which will be journal cards again. And I've got a number of these. I've got these ones, which I mentioned. I've got that one, don't think that really goes with that page just now. I've got these cards, which I absolutely love these. And I think out of what I've got here, I'm going to go with one of those. That's nice. And then where are those little ones? What did I do with those little ones? There they are. How would they look in there if I put one down there? Yep, like that. Okay. So I'm just going to, again, just circle the edges off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, backed on coffee dyed paper. Just going to, so we've got one of the little postcards in there, and I'm just going to put that little journal card there. That's nice. That's another one done. I want to do a little something there, but I'm not quite sure what at the moment. What shall we put in there, folks? A little picnic basket, perhaps. Yeah, quite like that. We'll go with just a little picnic basket, just to take the plainness off. My desk is getting way too busy. Just going to pop a little bit of ink around that edge. Not quite sure how long this video is going to be. I'm hoping it won't be a mammoth video like one of my previous ones, but I do want to at least get through this one's signature so that you can see the process and see the thought behind it. And like I say, and then I'm going to go on and just finish the other 2 signatures off camera, and then I'll come back with one final video to give you a walkthrough, and then we're on to something completely new, which I'm quite excited about. What way around should we have that? I'll pop it there, I think. Lovely. Okay. Just going to give that a little dab just in case any glues come through those little holes. Don't want it sticking to there. Now, I'm actually quite okay with these pages being plain. At the end of the day, it's a journaling book, so you know, you want some spare spacing to enable you to journal. So here we're going to need 3 of something. So let's have a look and see. Oh, maybe will that one fit in there? Yes, it will. So I'm going to round off the edges. I'm going to go with a slightly wider round. Just bear with me. I'm just going to clip these into my bin rather than it going all over the place. That one hasn't clipped properly, which is typical. Let me just take that bit off. There we go. And that one. And that one. There we go. So I'm going to slip that one into there. That's nice because that goes with the orange there, which is perfect. I'd like a postcard of some description. I've got 2 more of those. Oh, have I? I thought I had 2 more of those. Okay. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was only those 2. I thought I had another one of the old ones. It'll probably turn up if I did. But I want to try and put 1 in each signature, which is why I thought I had 3. So I'm going to put that one to one side so that I don't use it in this particular one. And I'm just looking for... that blue is quite nice. That's maybe a bit too much. Food wagon. Fruits. Not sure about that. Leave that one there. That's possible. Maybe these white ones would look better. Blue again. Quite like that. Let's pop that back there. Oh, I prefer that blue over that one. That's an older one. Quite like that one. And I like that because that brings in the orange. So I'm going to go with that one. So let me, I'm not sure if you can see what I've just done there. So I've put in the journal card, which is part of the kit, and the 2 oranges go really nicely together. And I'm going to use the squashes, which are of a similar colour, but has got the white, so it'll break up some of the detail. And pop that one in there. And I think what I'd like to do with this one is perhaps put maybe a tag in. Have I got a tag that will work? Let's have a look. Or even a little bit of maybe not. So what have we got, guys, that can go in there? Let's have a look. Want to make sure I've got one of each for those other signatures of those. And that's the wrong colour, so we're not going to use that one. Do we like that? Maybe not. Ooh, That's quite cute. Gonna go with that, I think, because I think that works. I wanted something just a little bit narrow. In fact, that doesn't work because it's the white on the white and doesn't give enough contrast. So what else do we have? Let's have a look. Quite like that. That's got the orange base to it. That would work quite nicely. I think we're going to perhaps go with that one, maybe. Who knows? Let's see what else we've got here. That's got the orange on it as well. They are virtually the same, if not the same. So that's just answered that question, and let's go with that one. Move all my rubbish out of the way and put the glue stop on my glue. So let's have a look and see. So that is the full length. I think I'm going to take off a bit from the top rather than the bottom. I quite like that band of the orange gingham there, so I'm going to take off a bit off the top rather than off the bottom. I'm just going to eyeball that, pull that across, and how does that fit? That's still just a little bit snug, so I'm just going to take a little bit more off. Wrong one. How's that? That looks nice. Looks a bit odd that you're cutting her face off there, but it's fine. Let's round those. Do I want to round the corners? No, I want to flute the corners. There we go. That's very cute. And I wonder if I've got some labels somewhere. Where am I? Oh, I know what I've got that I could use on this. I'd forgotten I had these. These are some little coin pockets I made a little while ago. Ever so easy to make. I can do a short video on those because they're so easy to make. But then I embellished them with bits from the kits and with labels because I thought they would go lovely in the journal. And I'm just wondering, actually, I prefer that. That looks lovely. Okay, so just that you can see, blue dresses, blues, 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 and we've got the blueberries. And we've got wholesale grocers on there, and that fits in there just perfectly. So happy with that one. So that's another little pocket finished off. The centre, I really don't think I'm going to do anything with the centre, or not with this particular centre. I think that's really busy, and I think it's beautiful as it is. I think if I add anything to it, I think it would just be too much. So I'm going to leave that particular centrepiece as is. Got a nice little envelope here, and I am going to tuck into that, I think, some little clippings. Excuse me if you can only just hear me. I have got this book, which was my mother-in-law's, for those of you that haven't been here before, and it's got all these little bits and pieces in. These were the bits that she wrote out, and there's lots and lots of clippings and things. So I am going to pop into these envelopes. There's one of these in each signature. One of the little clip-ins, which I think is a nice idea. So I'm just going to fold that over, and I'm just going to tuck that in there, and then that's there for somebody to find. Cute, huh? That's nice. Like that idea. So that's that one sorted. Do we want to put in a little embellishment on that one? I think so. Maybe. Don't like that. How about a bread basket in there? Do I like that? I'm not sure I do actually. Might just leave this one plain. This is a crafter's picnic hamper. You can tell there's paintbrushes sticking out there. That's rather cute. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Gosh, it's so warm today. I've had my fan on all night. It was so warm in the night, but I've turned it off. I normally bring it in here if it's really warm, but I didn't because of the noise it makes while I'm doing the video. But I'm absolutely roasting, which is another good reason not to make this a really long video, apart from boring you all. There we go. That's that one done. Just going to pop that in there. And I'm just going to make sure that that glue doesn't come through there. A little embellishment. Not really sure I like that there, but it's there now, so it'll do. And what else have we got to do? Oh, I need some bits and pieces for in here. So we need a couple of little tuck bits for in there. Now then, I have got that. And I think that is perfect in there. So that's one of those. I've got those two, but I want one each of those for the other signatures, so I don't want to use that. What else have we got? We've got one of those. I think that really looks nice in there. Although, wasn't that the one I just used in this one? Gosh, my memory is so bad. So bad. Where's it gone? Gone. Nope, wasn't that one. Where has that gone? Where has it gone? Was it in this one? No. Well, that's odd. I felt sure we used one of those. Or maybe I just thought I did. It's not in there. Not in there. I guess I didn't. I could have sworn I used one of those. Well, there you go. Crazy. Okay, so how far do we want to take this one down then? I am going to take this one down to just above the little booklet there, I think. So about there, I think, would be fine and dandy. Take that one off there. How does that look? That looks lovely jubbly. And I'm going to flute my edges. This is my favourite punch in the whole wide world. Love it to pieces. You can do so much with it. Oh, throwing bits around. Okay. And now I'm going to put that one in there. However, before we do that, I think I'm going to get my little, where are they? My box of labels. And just see what I've got that can perhaps just go on there. Let's have a rummage. Having a rummage. We don't want trains. Oh, eggs. We don't want eggs. Actually, I'll keep that one out because I might be able to use that on something else. What have we got? Honeybees. Don't like that. Oh. Quite like that one. Cotton spool. Have I got anything in here foodie orientated? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Let's have a look. Got a little flower. Peeps. Quite like her. She's quite nice. What does... Don't like that one. Oh dear, this is what takes me the time. I just rummage through and rummage through. That's printing inks. Oh, do I like that one? Maybe. Don't want to cover the pie up. That looks quite nice. That's what we're going to go with. I'm all sitting there thinking, what is she doing? Not sure what that's to actually, but reminds me of a cheese label for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it is, or maybe I'm just making it up as I go along. I quite like her. There we go. Right then, I'll pop these on. So I've got absolutely nothing else planned for the weekend, which is marvellous. Got a nice chillaxing weekend. What are you all doing for the weekend? Anything nice? You'll have to drop me some comments about what you're all up to and what you'd like to see me do for future videos. Whether or not you like the videos, what you'd like to see me do differently, all of those things would be really helpful. I like that, that looks lovely. Oops, back in the joint. And I'm just going to pop her just down in that little corner there. Love it, that looks nice. Pleased with that. And now that's going to sit in there. That looks really lovely. Happy with that. Oh, I thought that was a pocket then. It's not, it's the picture. Okay, we've got a nice belly band here. and I want a journaling card to go under there. So I don't want to use that one because I have already got one of those in this particular signature, and I think I'm going to have to cut another one of these out actually, because I'd like, again, following the continuity for the 3 signatures, I'd like one in the 3rd signature as well. So I won't be using that one. I do, however, quite like that, but I don't know that I like it under there. Or we could go with cheese, crisps and chocolate. Let's have a look and see how that looks in there. That looks quite nice. We'll go with that. So I'm just going to round off the corners again. Bear with me. Okay. Just going to have to trim those up. The trimmer didn't quite get them properly, so I'm just going to finish rounding those off. So that's that one done, and I think I'd just like to put a little bit of ink around the edge. This stay at my desk. I did warn you all that I'm one of the messiest crafters going. My crafting is never less is more, it's always more is more. There we go, lovely jubbly. Pop that in there. Why do I want a tab on it? I don't know that I do. Could put a tab there, couldn't I? Make that easier to get in and out. Do I want a tab? Yes, I think I do. I do. So, so I'm going to cut that down there, because if I want any more tags I can use the rest of it for that. Pop that out of the way, and then I'm going to cut that about there. So we've got that 2-inch square, which seems to be the optimum size for those tags that I've already shown you. I'm going to squash that down, get my punch, pop it in the right way round because otherwise it won't work. That's that one, and pop that one in there. Boop, boom. That's that one. Okay, fabulous. And we've got a nice little tag again. And I haven't had to spend a fortune on a whale tag cutter. Do we want that one there? Yes, I think we do. That's yummy. Okay. Oh no, man. It's got dummied up. Oh dear. There we go. I don't know if that's worked, has it? Come on. And I don't have a pin handy, or do I have a pin handy? Talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I find a pin. Sorry about the noise. Find a pin. Do I have a pin? Let me just clear that down. Yeah, didn't feel like it was blocked. It's odd. Okay. That's that one. That's that one. That's my little dog downstairs. She's barking because I've left her downstairs because I didn't want her up here barking. So she's decided to bark outside the window. Nice. There we go. I like that. And that's going to slip in under there. And this one I've already got a couple of little bits in there. And that one I need a tag for there. So what do we want to use for there? Do you know, I thought I prepared loads of these things and I don't feel that I've hardly got anything, to be honest with you. Is that going to go in there? It is not. However, I would like that one in there. That's that one. So is that one the same? I think it might be. Oh my goodness. Oh no, it's not. It is different. Phew, I thought I was putting two the same in the same signature then. Silly me. Right, so that one's a little bit on the thick side and I've already fluted it, so I suppose I could use that one instead, couldn't I? Let me have a look at that then. How much does that need to... Oh, we're talking slithers, aren't we? That just needs to come off a slither. Which side do I want to slither? I think we'll slither this side. Oop, blimey, cut your hands off. And we'll slither that much, which is probably slightly more than I need to. However, I'd like it to slip in and out with ease. And we're going to, how does that feel? I don't know, it still actually feels, even as much as I just cut off, that still feels a little bit tight, to be fair. I wonder if perhaps, oh gosh, come out. I wonder if, yeah, that's why I was having issues, because the glue had glued. Just going to pull that up there slightly. I wonder if that will slip in a bit easier now. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. I think I need to glue that down as well. That seems to have come unstuck there, so I shall do that as well in a minute. Right, size wise, oh gosh, it's getting so messy. I think I don't want to cut the bowl off, so I think I'll come in just above the bowl on that, and I think that will work nicely. Again, don't want to cut the gingham off. I think I'm going to come in about there. Lovely. That works nicely. And I'm going to give that a clip and give that a clip. Lovely. Okay, just gonna give it a little old inky. And then this one. That's that done. Right then, do we want some labels on this one? I ask myself. Oop, ping. Let me have a look. Where's my basket of goodies gone? Let's see what we've got. Or, rather than labels, maybe we've got something amongst this little lot that we could make use of. What do you think? Like her. Coffee doesn't work. Gingham. How about a little bit of gingham and a little label somewhere? What have we got that we can use? I don't know why that's there. That should be in with my flowers. Yum. Quite like the order number there. It's like somebody's ordering their dinner, isn't it? I think I'm going to go with that there. And maybe that there. Yeah, we like that. Okay, that's what we'll do with that one then. I'll just pop a little bit of ink round. That's that one done. That's that one done. Just gonna knock that white because that white's very white, and I don't really want it being quite that white with it being on that beige background. Okay. I'll pop that there. And then pop this one on. And pop that one there. I think that looks nice as well. Lovely. So let's just pop that in there. Is it going to go in? Drum roll. Yeah, I need to stick that bit down there. So that I'm going to leave there. I'm going to stick that down after I close the video down, because that's come and stuck there. Either that or it wasn't stuck at all. I've just, oh maybe, oh, it's a side pocket, that's why. Silly me. I didn't stick that bit down. Or maybe I would like to, I don't know. I think that's quite nice as it is actually. That makes sense as to why. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. So that's that one. And that is that signature all embellished. So very happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead off camera and do the other signatures, and then on my last video I'm going to take you through a final walkthrough. So that's where we're at for now. I think I'll also, we're just getting to be a little bit gapey there, which I was trying to avoid, so I've reduced the amount of stuff that I was going to put in there quite considerably. But hopefully it won't get too gapey. We might have to do a rethink on a few bits, possibly not. I need to finish the cover as well, so I think I'll do that off camera as well. You don't need to see me just sticking bits and pieces on. And I'll see you for the final chapter in the Recipe Keeper Journal by Scrimping Mummy. If you have managed to stay to the end of the video, thank you so much for joining me today. I do really appreciate it. If you could give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, that would help me tremendously as well. And if you feel like doing so, if you could share with your family and friends to help me out, that would be awesome too. So thank you very much again, guys, for your time, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.